amazing.
Oh, as a leader, you cannot do it all. I mean, I can't say that enough. You can't do it all. Just because a task or a project or something falls under your jurisdiction does not mean you have to do it.
Hello and welcome back, leaders, to the LeadHer Lounge. Today we're going to talk about something that leaders avoid a lot and they shouldn't be avoiding because it's very important to do and help them with their leadership journey, and that is delegating.
Yes.
And I think the reason why leaders don't do is number one, they think that they're losing power in their minds. Their employees are going to be thinking, maybe they don't know how to do it. So that's why they are delegating something.
Yeah.
And that's not true. And number two, leaders don't do that because they want to have the control of everything. And let me tell you something, you can't.
No.
You cannot control everything. That's why you have team members to help you. And
I've had an issue with control.
maybe
that's not what I was going to say, but I have, so I know from experience. But I think a lot of leaders who I know who like are really micromanagey, or they do everything themselves and overload themselves, is because they don't think anyone else can do it the same way that they do it. And that's okay. It's actually a good thing if you find more innovative and different ways of accomplishing a task or doing something. You don't want to be the person that's doing it all the time. And if someone isn't doing it the way you want them to do it, that's okay. Learn from that.
There is a lot of different ways to go from point A to point B. And during this episode, we want to talk about how to delegate, but also why it's so important. So let's start with the why.
Yeah.
And the first reason why it's important to delegate is because you maximize your team members' strengths.
Everyone, actually, I'm going to shout out a good friend of ours, Megan Miller. She used to say this all the time when we worked together. And she would say, put your aces in their places. And now I say it all the time. I always give her credit for it. And it's so true, though. If you have so many people on your team, and they're all good at different things. So why don't you put your aces in their places and empower them to do things that they're really good at? So one of the examples I think we were talking about when we were talking about the show is if you've got someone who's really good at writing, and someone who's really good at numbers, just to simplify people's skill sets. But, someone's really good at writing, someone's really good at numbers. You have a task for the writer and you give them like financial analysis. They're probably going to be like, what the heck am I going to do with this? And then you give the number person a recap for a meeting. It's like, no, put your aces in their places, put the numbers person where the numbers are and the writer where the words are. And that way they're owning it and they're feeling empowered and they're good at it too. Because otherwise you're going to set them up to fail.
Yes.
But
however, I would like also when you're delegated to expand their skills. So if somebody mentioned you that they want to be better at writing.
Yeah.
Right? Like they want to get better at that. Give them more opportunities.
Yes.
Maybe that's not right now their skill, but maybe they can develop that and you can help them as well.
100%.
Those are examples depending of like in which industry you are. Of course, like what you delegate is so different. It looks differently different in different industries as well. But those are like kind of like the industries that we're more familiar in. But yes, if you can expand their skills,
their skill set
when you are delegating, that would be ideal as well. The second reason why is that you're gonna free up your time. That's amazing.
Oh, as a leader, you cannot do it all. I mean, I can't say that enough. You can't do it all. Just because a task or a project or something falls under your jurisdiction does not mean you have to do it. It just means you have to make sure it gets done. Yes. So that goes back to assigning the right people to the right roles. But we're going to talk about how to delegate effectively through the 3 A's. Yeah. And we'll just dive into it. The first one is assign. And so there's going to be 3 A's we're going to talk about, all related to delegation, to keep it simple for you. It's assign, align, and affirm. So assign is assigning people a task, but don't just hand them a task. Empower them to take ownership of something. One of the examples we were talking about was when we were working together in corporate, and we had a team member who was so amazing and passionate about birthdays. Like, she wanted to celebrate everyone's birthday. She wanted to make everyone feel special. And she actually kind of jumped into that role herself, but we were able to provide her a space and delegate, okay, you know what? Birthdays is one thing I don't have to remember anymore, and I don't have to deal with. Not that it's dealing, but you know what I mean? Like, it's another thing on your plate, because you want to make sure everyone gets celebrated 100%. So she was able to take ownership of that. And that was super empowering for her. And she had so much fun. And she got to know all the employees and how they wanted to be celebrated. We had one guy who didn't like his birthday, so she toned it down. And then, she was able to do balloons and cupcakes. And it was, as a leader, you're thinking like that's just, birthdays are just a small thing. That's a pretty big thing. So, but that's one way that we were able to delegate that task of recognition and celebration to someone. Another one was
in meetings. So maybe you already have an agenda and you have some team members, a team member actually coming up with an activity, something to build trust amongst the team. It can be to, build camaraderie and just learn about each other. So maybe there's some people that love doing fun things. And if you identify that on your team member, why not?
Yeah.
It's taking something from your plate, because the idea of meetings is, learning about what is next, where are we going, where are we at right now, but it's time for us to build trust and relationship and connect to each other. So if you can delegate some of those things to your team members, I think that would be ideal. And they will feel so empowered for just doing it.
Yeah, we would do that. We had team members that ran amazing huddles and meetings, and they even owned the content itself, like not just the activities, but they would actually run the actual meeting, and they did great. And that was something that we'll dive into the second one. Like, that's something that aligned with their personal goals. And that's the second A, is alignment. So making sure that these tasks that you're delegating, the projects that you're putting them in, they align with their personal and their professional goals. So, or the things that they want to get better with in general, not just the things they're good at and not just the things you want to get off of your plate, but the things
just
that
the
align.
Things that are tedious. Everybody in the team knows that this is so tedious, and that's the only thing that you delegate. That's not fair. Not fair. You have to delegate the fun things as well, and the things that you might want to do but take a lot of your time. You need to delegate those things as well. You're not delegating just because of you. You're doing it because of your team members as well, and like you want to help develop certain skill. Yeah. And I think that kind of like take us to the last A, which is affirm. Yes, they did everything. They're doing an amazing job with all the things that you have been delegating. Just make sure that you provide feedback, positive and constructive feedback about their tasks, and recognition. Appreciate them. Don't start just giving them a bunch of responsibilities and that's it. Okay, thank you. Next. No. This is what I have next. No, like make sure that you're like, wow, you did so good at this, at this, at this. We talk about feedback and how specific you need to be with your feedback, so they know, and you are reinforcing their behavior with that as well, so they do it again and again.
And going back to the beginning, what you were saying, or what we were saying about control, is yes, let them take ownership of this, but I like the phrase to trust but verify. Like, we want to trust our employees, and we want to make sure that they know that we trust them, but we also have to help them along the way. Like, until they're solid and they're like, it's a well-oiled machine, and you truly trust that they're doing everything correctly, you still have to be there along the way to offer, like Erica was saying, feedback, support, encouragement. So if they're not doing something right, you still need to be there like, hey, I know I told you to own this. I'm just checking in to give you some feedback. And then as they're improving, continue the encouragement, let them own it. And then at some point it's like, you're done. It's off your plate. Officially, it's off your plate. So trust but verify. Don't just send them out into the dark by themselves.
Yes. No, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Make sure that there are different ways to apply this, but I think it helps when you have kind of like a structure.
Yeah.
So when you think, okay, I'm assigning and I'm making sure that they're taking ownership, and I'm assigning things that make sense for them and for me as well. I'm making sure that it aligns with the team values, with my team members' goals, and I'm making them I'm adding some work for them, but it also makes sense for them.
Yes.
And finally, that you are affirming, meaning like you are recognizing them for doing what they're doing, because again, sometimes it's extra work. Ideally, it wouldn't be like that, but they're going above and beyond. So we need to like recognize and appreciate all of those things.
Yes, 100%. So like we said in the beginning, delegation is something that every leader probably needs a little bit of work on and some support in. So if you yourself got something out of the video, let us know in the comments below. And if you know anyone in your circle that could really use some help with delegation, share this video with them. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.
Yes, and thank you again to our friends at Velocity and Sterling Heights for this beautiful studio. And we'll see you next week, leaders.
Bye.